Hey, what's up everybody? It's Victon here with a short video for you guys today, but a pretty juicy one. It's the beginning of the league, and with every beginning of the league, one of the most important things to do is unlock your Atlas passive skill points as soon as possible so that you can start doing your Atlas strategy and make a whole bunch of currency. Now, in order to do that, you want to be doing it really fast and also really efficient. And what I have done is I've kind of come up with a whole bunch of different strategies that we're going to use that I use every single league. Some of you guys might know some of these already, some of you guys might not know some of them. So that's kind of what this is about. I'm just going to put it all into one short little simple video for you guys. And hopefully you guys might learn a thing or two, right? So first, of course, is the elephant in the room, because some of you guys might not have this opportunity, but playing with friends, it's so much faster. It's infinitely faster if you have it split up between a group of even just like 1 or 2 players. Going from 1 to 2 players is huge. Your friend could be running a map while you run a map, and then you call each other in for boss kills, right? And you can be doing maps so much faster. And you do those maps separately so that when you're running those maps, you're each finding maps, and it could be different maps that both of you don't have unlocked, right? And then you call each other in for bosses, you get the kill, and then you go back to your map. It's pretty efficient, it's pretty smooth, and the more people you have doing that in your party, the faster you're going to complete your Atlas, right? So that's a really good strategy. And what I would say for that strategy is use all of the other strategies that I'm going to talk about in this video on top of playing with more people, and it's going to just be, I mean, you're going to do this so fast, your Atlas. But yeah, not everybody has the ability to play with a whole bunch of friends, right? So if you can't do that, no worries. All the other strategies are going to work just the same, so don't worry, right? The number one tip that I can give you guys for sure is utilizing your Kirak as best as possible. That's this guy. You want to have him in your hideout for sure. You're going to want to go to him, and you're going to want to hit purchase items. And this is his store. He's going to sell you a whole bunch of maps usually. For some reason, he only is selling me 2 this time, but you can go in there and you can look in. Typically, it'll be for like chance orbs or alchemy orbs, or later it might even be like chaos and val orbs. But early on, it's usually alchemy orbs and chance orbs, right? If you hold down Alt, you can actually see if you have completed that map, right? So Atlas bonus, incomplete. So I actually want to purchase this. It's only 2 chaos, or it's only 2 alchemy as well. Pretty good price. Factory, same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase this, right? So that's 2 maps that I didn't have, and I got it off of Kirak. Really easy. The thing to note here is that his vendor store resets every time you do one of his missions. His missions are down here. It's this little button right here, Kirak missions, white, yellow, and red tier, right? Anytime you do any of those, it's going to reset his store. So very important. Before you even do one of those missions, like the first one that you do, make sure you buy out his store. So buy out his store and then go over here, do his mission. The whole store is going to reset and you can buy it out again, right? So it's a very good way to buy maps. If you do a white map, it's mostly going to give you in the store like white maps and some yellows. If you do the yellow, it's going to give you mostly yellows and maybe some reds, and then red, so forth. It's going to give you reds, and also sometimes like unique maps or Shaper Guardian maps. So pretty good way to do that, right? The other way that you can get him to do the missions as well is the scouting reports. Let me see if I actually have one. I don't know if I do to show you. Yeah, so but you've seen them, right? So they're the scouting reports that drop in maps. And when you click it, it actually adds a mission to his little tray here, right? So in order to do that, you just find them in maps, and you can do that normally just by like, you know, playing your maps, or you can go to your Atlas here, and there are actually some nodes on the tree that'll actually help you find more of those, right? And it's very good to do those because they give you, it's like what, 6 or 7 or 8 different maps that you can choose from. And typically when you do that, you will find 1 or 2 of those maps in the choices that are going to be ones that you don't have and that you can do to get the unlock completion. So a couple of those nodes, you know, just for example here, right? So it's like 60% increase Atlas scouting reports found in your map. So it's a pretty good one, especially early on, just so you can get a little bit more of those reports so you can start getting some more maps, right? But there's also other things that you can do on your Atlas tree. Just the general nodes here, like traveling along, it's 2% chance for monster to drop an extra map, right? So that's pretty good, but you're going to kind of just get these passively. It's not something you necessarily go out of your way for. But like that node right there was the scouting report, pretty good. There's some more scouting report stuff down here. There's also nodes like this one, right? So shaping the skies, maps have 50% chance to be 1 tier higher, and generally that's pretty good because as you're progressing through the atlas, right, it's nice to get those higher tier maps so that you can then do those maps, and then it's typically going to be ones you don't have, just kind of, it's the natural progression of it, right? And also another tip is anytime you get a higher level map, you always want to run that first, right? So like when you get a tier 5 map or whatever, and it's the first one you've got, but you've got like, you know, 5 other tier 2 maps you haven't run yet before, you actually want to run that tier 5 first and then go back and run the other ones, because it opens up some other maps that you can get that you wouldn't have been able to get unless you had done that higher map first, right? So yeah, so there's a couple things on the tree that you can get, but not too much. It's really just the Kirac nodes right here, and then some of these nodes right here for the map stuff, which I think there's another one over here, right? Yeah, so maps have another 15% chance to be higher, but don't necessarily go out of your way for those. Like for example, I wouldn't go out of my way to get this one. I might get these 3 points at some point, right? Yeah, so that is the Kirac system. Kirac system is absolutely huge. You're going to get a ton of map completion just by managing your Kirac smartly. That's also the Atlas. Pretty good there. Not as good as Kirac himself, but also not too bad. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys, I personally use this all the time. It's called poemap.trade. Now, this is a website that's been around for a long time. Totally safe website. I use it every single league. It's fantastic. Basically what this is it's not like the trade site like this, right? It's a dedicated site specifically for trading maps, and it's for free, right? It's not actually currency based. You're just trading maps. Like let's say I still need some tier 2s. I need, let's say, Stagnation and Wasteland, and I actually have a beach, a dunes, and an estuary, right? So you would click that, and it's just an example as tier 2, right? You can do this for any of the tiers. You would want to go down here to please select your character. You'd actually log into your PoE account, so you would authorize it. In order to do that, the reason that you do that is so it can then send messages in game, and then people can send you messages as well. So you would do that, and then you would hit start trading. Now when you hit start trading, it's going to pop up something a little bit below it, and it's going to, oh, I think somebody probably just messaged me right there. Let's check. Yeah, exactly, right? So hi, I would like to trade my tier 2 Stagnation map for your dunes map, and it's that simple. You literally just do that, and people are going to send you messages to do a 1-for-1 trade, no currency involved, or you can send the message by hitting this button right there to copy it, and then going in the game and just pasting it, right? And it's super simple. This is what helps me out a ton if I'm playing like solo, or even like me and a buddy are playing, and we've gotten to like a stale point where we don't have any maps that we haven't already run yet. We might go ahead and plug in like all the maps we already have, and the ones we need, we'll throw that into this website, and then we'll just trade for like 5 to 10 minutes with people, and we'll have out of nowhere like 10 to 20 maps that we haven't run yet and that we could just knock out, and it's all free. It's not like something you got to go and spend, you know, 20-30 chaos on maps. Absolutely not. It's free, and it works really well. It's very quick. There's no chance of being scammed or anything like that, so I absolutely highly recommend it. Now once you get past the yellow tier maps, you're going to be up in the red tier maps. I can definitely say, just from experience, we don't trade, most people don't trade those, like, you know, your tier, I would say starting around like tier 12 to 16, the site isn't that good for it because people just don't have them, don't trade it for whatever reason. It doesn't work that great for those tier maps. So one of my tips for that, going back in game here, is once you get up to that high, remember that there are things called, I don't have any, but they're called Orb of Horizons, right? So Orb of Horizons are usually pretty cheap. And let's say I have, you know, a channel map done, and for some reason I have 3 channel maps, but I don't have any of the other ones. You can take one of your extra channel maps, you could hit it with a horizon orb, and it will turn it into potentially any of the other ones, right? So it could make it an Infested Valley, an Ivory Temple, a silo map, and with that, it's going to help you with your Atlas completion. Just note that, you know, once, let's like give you an example here. Like, let's say you're trying to do these maps right here and you have all of them except one. I probably wouldn't at that point suggest using Orbit Horizon, just because it's pretty low odds, right, that you're going to turn it into the one that you don't have. At that point, once you get past like the 110 mark on your Atlas, it's probably better to just go ahead and purchase it. What I also would say is, once you do your unique maps, if you have friends or a guild or anything like that, typically it's a pretty good idea to have everybody pitch in, maybe have one person buy all the unique maps, or maybe everybody buys 1 or 2 unique maps, and then you all come together and you run them, right? So doing that is a really good way to knock out all of the unique maps, because it's kind of a pain in the butt to trade for all of them. There's not too many, there used to be a lot more, but it still is pretty annoying to have to trade for that. So partnering with some folks to do that is pretty good. You can actually even typically go into, if you type /global820, going in that trade, you could actually invite other people to you, or say like, hey, I'm hosting these 3 maps, bring 3 of your own unique maps and we'll get Atlas completion. I've done that before and that works pretty well. You usually get pretty good participation from Global 820. So yeah, so doing all of those things is a really good way to get your Atlas completion very fast. I typically have my full Atlas completion done by day 2 by using these methods. And you know, like I said, you might already know some of this stuff, maybe you didn't know 1 or 2 of the tips. Either way, I hope it helps, and I hope it gets you guys your Atlas completion as fast as possible, so you guys can start doing your Atlas strategies, having fun, and making currency. That's all I got on this one, guys. I hope you'll have a great league, and I'll catch you in the next one.